Hi everyone, welcome. This is Cindy with Tana Tarot, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Today we are going to do the pick a card reading, what you need to hear right now. And we have pile number one, or actually group, I call them groups. Group number one, group number two, and group number three. So whether you are attracted to the card, the crystal, or the numbers in the timestamp below, please go ahead and choose the group reading that you are interested in, and I will see you at your reading. See you there. Hi group one, welcome to my pick a card reading for this week. And it's about what you need to hear right now. So I have shuffled off camera and randomly pulled and laid out all of these cards for you. And let's go ahead and get going. Now I do see a couple of trends here. One, I'd say the main one that really strikes me, and you know what, let's put a time frame on this, like, and whenever you hear it, this is timeless, but this is what you need to hear right now. And let's say like within the next, for the next 30 days. So whenever you come across this, these are high arching energies, overarching energies that, you need to focus on, be aware of, that type of thing for the next 30 days. Now, the main thing that is really hitting me is the truth. And with the other cards that are around it, the truth in as much as, what is your truth? Be comfortable and solid and framed in what is your truth. Now, I'm a pretty gray person as far as I see one person's side, I see the other person's side. I always like to say there's their story, there's, this person's story, that person's story, and then there's the truth. Everybody looks at things from a different perspective. But the type of truth that I'm talking about is, what is your truth? Like, say, you're in a relationship and you haven't, had good luck in relationships, and you're trying to learn, how to navigate this whole relationship thing. Let's say you've recently learned about boundaries, and someone has done something in the relationship that makes you feel uncomfortable, and it's crossing a boundary. Now, it's not like big enough to where you're like, oh, I'm done with you, I'm going to break up with you today. But it definitely is crossing a boundary, and it's making you feel some kind of way. What you are being encouraged to do and called on to do by Spirit in the next 30 days is look at what your truth is. Like, your truth is valid. Your feelings are valid. Your perception is valid. It is your perception. So say someone has done something that makes you uncomfortable or unhappy, and you're almost afraid to rock the boat, or you're like, am I overreacting? No, you're being encouraged to look at your truth and then to speak your truth. And say, you know what, I'm not comfortable with X. Or I don't like it when X. Feel comfortable with your truth. It is your truth. It matters. Look at truth as a vibration. When you speak your truth and that energy comes out of your mouth, it surrounds you with the vibration of truth. It protects you. Sorry, pulling up my sleeves. It protects you and envelops you in your armor of truth. And whoever else needs to acknowledge that truth and respect that truth. And if they don't, and they say, well, you shouldn't feel this way or you shouldn't feel that way, then that is called either being extremely insensitive or gaslighting, because no one can tell you how to feel. So acknowledge your truth, speak your truth, bathe yourself in your truth, because it is your truth and it is valid. And that kind of goes back to, we also have a couple cards about learning, being who you are, no shame in your game, speaking the truth, and learning. There is no shame in the learning process. Okay? We can't all, we're not all born knowing the right things to do, how to navigate this thing we call life. And some of us didn't have the benefit of really good guidance. Like some of us did and some of us didn't. Sipping a hot beverage from my throat. And for those of us that, didn't really have great guidance as far as, making it through and navigating our way through this game called life, it is a learning process. And, even those that did have good guidance, there's always something to learn. But for those of us that maybe our learning curve is higher, it's taking us longer to get things, maybe we're in our 40s or 50s and still haven't really had what we would call a successful relationship. There is no shame in the learning process. In fact, I want you to close your eyes and say this: I give the divine permission to guide me. And whether that is your God, your spirit, the universe, accept guidance. Look for signs. There's no shame in stumbling. There's no shame in changing your mind. Learning is a very, to be open to learning is a beautiful vibe. So give yourself permission to make mistakes. Give yourself permission to stumble while you're learning your truth and you're feeling comfortable in speaking your truth. In addition to that, watch your thoughts. If we feel unsure of ourselves and, like if we're learning how to set boundaries, say, to continue using that example. And if we're unsure of ourselves and we may have negative thoughts, like, am I overreacting? Am I doing this or am I doing that? That's okay for us to question ourselves, but watch your thoughts. If you find yourself going down a path of totally like negative comments to yourself, or you always do this, or you always do that, stop that immediately. Get a rubber band, put it around your wrist, snap it, and say, stop. Watch your feelings. Because what you're doing when you're in this learning process and you're learning your truth, what you're doing is you're sowing your seeds. And so if you are not careful and you put out too much, negative or self-depreciating energy out there in the world, that's what can come back to you. And that's all we need. I'm being facetious. We do not need that. So please, in the next 30 days, watch your self-talk. Watch your thoughts. Also, dream big. Say, like if you are going for some type of a job, or say you have a YouTube channel and you're like, I would like X number of followers. Whatever that job is, dream for the next big job. And then, like if you're on YouTube and you say, hey, I want 100K, dream for 500K. Put it out there. Make it big. Make it wild. Of course, it's not all about the subscribers. It's about the content and everything. But Of course, the more subscribers, the more people we reach, and the more better we can do. But just dream big and make sure that whatever seeds you're sowing, that they are positive seeds. So watch your thoughts, because your thoughts create your future, basically. What you put out there is what you get back. And then we have another card about self-worth. So I see in the next 30 days, group 1, you're doing a lot of internal work. I see you being afraid to show yourself for who you are. Hiding behind some kind of a mask, perhaps. Not speaking up. Not telling your truth. Please watch that. Your truth is valid. You don't have to hide it. You don't have to hide your light under a bushel. You don't have to hide your true self. You don't have to try to be something that you're not. I mean, if you are doing that, why? If people don't accept you for who you are, then I don't think you want those kind of people around. And secondly, if you are really trying to learn and work on relationships, whether it be, friends or romantic relationships, aren't you really like shortchanging those possibilities for friendships by hiding who you really are? You won't even allow them to really know you. How can that relationship grow? So I do see a common theme of knowing your truth, speaking your truth, and coming from your truth. To be yourself. To appreciate your self-worth. To be okay with learning. To watch yourself talk. Your inner self, that inner voice that sometimes can say not so nice things to us. Don't allow that. Stop. Stop. Stop saying that. I am smart. I am pretty. I am worthy. I am lovable. And as you work through this self-growth, self-discovery, learning process, learning who you are and what is your truth. I mean, and you may never really know. I mean, you could be, 70 before you're like, aha, that's who I am. I'm not saying you have to have it all figured out, but you know what you want. You know who you are. I'm a rebel. I don't like convention. That's you. I prefer comfort. I like knowing how things are going to go. That's you. I want to be married. I want to have a family. That's you. I'll never get married. I don't want to get married. I want to travel and see the whole world. That's you. Whatever it is, it's okay. It can only be 2 or 3 sentences. It's not that deep. But find your truth, stick to your truth, treat yourself well, insist that others treat you well. And I want you to know that no matter what you're going through and how hard it is on this path, expressing gratitude, remembering, if you can, those small things that you have to be thankful for, and expressing that gratitude opens up a portal. And so we have 2 cards that talk about what you put out there is what you get back. And so one instance is dreaming big, putting out big, good, positive energy. One other example is gratitude for whatever it is that you have, for the small things, for the large things, for being alive. Okay? And in the next 30 days, you will receive, I hate it when I do that. You will receive signs from either spirit or whoever it is up there that you talk to, whether it is spirit, the universe, your God, even past family members. Sometimes, we can turn to and say, please watch over me, please protect me, help me, whether, it's a mom or, help me, mom, navigate through this. Whatever it is, you'll be getting some messages, and you will see birds, okay? You will see butterflies. So mainly birds and butterflies. And you may also receive the gift of a rose. So those will be signs that you are on the right path, that you are being heard, and that you are being supported. Okay, also, group number 1, for the next 30 days, as far as your money and career goes, I see that you have put intention out there, and effort, forethought, planning towards a goal. I see that you have, planted the seeds. You have a plan, and you're working your plan. You've most likely written down your plan. You most likely have tangible, measurable goals. And I do see where you will begin in the next 30 days to see the fruits of your labor. Now, will it be, you just started a new business and you'll be a millionaire in 30 days? Could happen, but no, not so much. As much as you'll get signs that you are on the right path. Again, I think those signs will be birds, butterflies, and roses. And doesn't mean that you'll necessarily have to, it doesn't necessarily have to be out in nature. Someone doesn't necessarily have to give you the rose physically, but these will be signs. When you see these, you'll know, oh, wow, okay. Yeah, that's what Cindy with Tana Tarot said. So I see messages, and I see confirmation that you are on the right path as far as money and career. Now, as far as love goes, I see some conflict. I see perhaps you're in a relationship and there's some type of discord. You feel like someone is keeping secrets from you, or you're confused. You don't know what's going on, but there is something that you don't know. What that is, I can't tell you, but if you feel like you're being kept in the dark, you most likely are, and that is something that you need to look into. I also see a message that I'm getting is there will be someone new in the picture. Your knight in shining armor will come, someone who is open to love, ready to love. It could be a water sign, which would be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or they could just have that placement. But this person is being sent to you. And this person's being sent to you because Spirit knows the trouble that you've been through, the hard time that you've been going through. And this person will help you to trust again, to get out of the grief and the loss and the guilt or whatever negative feelings it is that you've experienced from your last relationship. So whether you have already broken up and someone new is coming in the next 30 days, or whether you are still going through the breaking up process, you do know that Spirit is sending you someone sweet. Spirit is sending you someone that is available for love, capable of love, and that is very interested in you. And again, don't forget the signs, the birds, the butterflies, and the rose. So that is what I have for you, Group 1, for the next 30 days. What you need to hear, things you need to work on, things you can watch out for, and signs to help validate that, that this reading is for you. So thank you so much, Group 1. I've really enjoyed spending this time with you, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Hi, Group number 2. Welcome. This is Cindy with Tana Tarot, and this is Group number 2 for the Pick a Card reading, what you need to hear right now. My intention is for this to be good for like the next 30 days. I kind of like to put parameters around things. I am filming this in about the middle of April, but really this is timeless, and whenever you come across it, there may very well be a message in here for you. Oh, this time of day, my lighting's pretty crappy. FYI, this is the Queen of Swords, and this is the Three of Pentacles, if you're having a hard time seeing those cards. I think I might need to invest some time into research and maybe a little money into lighting to make it a little bit easier for everyone to see the cards. I'm learning here, so finally kind of figured out the camera, so maybe now next should be lighting. So, you know, some of these end up having a theme, and some of them are just kind of random, kind of what I call rando. I do see a couple cards here that do have something in common, but basically it's kind of just a lot of really random messages for the next 30 days for you. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first message that I have for you is that you are, and that's how you know if this reading is for you. You are, or have called yourself or thought of yourself as the black sheep of the family. Like everyone may be a certain way, and you're the one that's different. You're the one that thinks differently. You're the one that believes differently. For example, everyone may be of one political persuasion and you are wholeheartedly another. Or everyone may love living out in the country, but as soon as you turned, 16, 17, 18, however old you were off to the city. You were just a city person. You were like a stranger in a strange land in the country. You don't know how you ended up there. So you've always felt like different, like the black sheep. I'm here to tell you that you are here to go against the grain. You must go against the grain. It's who you are, and we need people like you. And actually, I'm one of you. To question the purpose of things, to go against the status quo, to wake people up, to help yin and yang, to have the balance, to have the light and the dark. So carry on. You are who you were meant to be, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you felt like an outsider or different, maybe you are, but as far as I'm concerned, it's a good thing, and you're doing what you were meant to do. And birds. I'm getting the birds message again. Signs that you're on the right track, or that you are being guided by spirit, or maybe family members who have passed. You'll see birds. You'll notice birds and or feathers more than you have in the past. It's important in the next 30 days to look and see who you have pledged your loyalty to. Number one, make sure that you are giving your loyalty to those who deserve it. Sometimes we give loyalty to people due to length of relationship or maybe familial relationship. Maybe those people don't necessarily deserve your loyalty. That is something to look at. But the message for the next 30 days for you, group number 2, is for those that you do have loyalty to, it's now time to, check with those people, see what's going on in their lives, and strengthen that bond of loyalty. I'm thinking that for some reason you're being called to come together. Maybe they need you at this time for some reason, or maybe you just need to show them that you are still loyal. I don't know exactly. I'm thinking maybe they need you, but do know that someone that you're loyal to needs your support. Also, I think it has to do with the birds. When you see the birds, know that you are being watched over and protected, because you are. Your spirit guides are watching over you, and family members who have passed. Very, very protective of you. So you are being protected right now, forever, but always. But your spirit guides want you to know that you're definitely being watched over and protected. You will experience some type of a loss. I'm thinking that it could be a relationship, whether romantic or family or friend, some type of relationship, kind of hooks up to the loyalty thing. Reaffirm who you are loyal to. Make sure that they deserve that loyalty, like they have the same loyalty, back to you. There may be some relationships that you do need to leave behind. If so, in this next 30 days, you are being encouraged to feel the emotion. If it is something that feels, you get very emotional and it feels very, you're feeling grief and loss, you are encouraged to, cry it out, feel the emotions, accept the emotions. And by doing that, you can wash away some of the feelings of loss, and it will help you to, accept that they are gone, and help you to kind of let go some of the emotion. You'll probably, if it's a very close relationship, you'll probably be feeling that for quite a while, but by crying and by working through the emotions and not stifling them, not repressing them, it will really help you to go through the process. So you are being encouraged. There will be situations that come up in the next 30 days. I see a financial situation, and don't freak out. It's something that you'll totally handle, but I do see a financial situation, and then the relationship situation that we just talked about. There'll be some changes. There'll be a couple of rather large changes in your life in the next 30 days, and you are being encouraged to look at these changes as lessons. Look for the lesson. Look for, try to get over, any feeling of victimhood or anger, whatever. Look for the lesson. Sometimes you might not see it for a long time after, but look for the lessons. Be teachable. Be open. Be flexible with it. Don't rail against the loss or the changes, or even something that now may seem seemingly, negative. Look for the lesson, because even negative things happen, or those things that we perceive to be negative, oftentimes they'll happen, and there will be a lesson in there for us that helps us, along our path of living life, and we learn something from it that helps us to either become a better person, be able to understand others better, or be able to make better decisions in the future. So whatever happens that you perceive as negative in the next 30 days, be flexible and be teachable. Look at it as a lesson. Try and see what is the lesson. I'm seeing that in the next 30 days, you will be considering a trip, and I would say a rather substantial trip, not just like a weekend getaway, but you're planning for some type of a trip. Now, the trip doesn't have to be in the next 30 days, but I see the little sprout of an idea, or maybe it's something you've been thinking about for a long, long time, and now you're finally thinking of, I think I'm going to put this into action this year, or, very soon. So you actually start like planning for it. And so it's either a substantial trip or a move. Many of you may be considering making a move, and I think the move may be in an attempt to lighten a financial burden, and if so, it's a good idea to plan things out and to consider this move. Maybe you're planning on moving somewhere with a lower cost of living, and you'll be able to, pay a lot less in rent or mortgage, and it would be a great load off of you. And that is something that does have good aspects. So now is a good time for planning it and beginning to take action. So if you are thinking of taking a substantial trip, or even a move to a different city, state, country even, then that is confirmation that this reading is for you. And so good tidings for that. As far as money goes, I do see a fundamental change occurs in you as far as your relationship with money. You may spend money to make yourself feel better, or maybe you spend money when you're bored. Maybe you have always told that you should save and you don't know how to save and you want to save. Maybe you have never invested, or you didn't, get into your work's 401k, and you always felt a little guilty about that and you thought you should. Something to do with money. There is a very, it's a big, what's the word, like, not organic, but it is definitely a total shift, a 180 in your perception of money and your relationship with money. And the good thing is, it may shake things up for a minute, and you may see that as negatively, as a negative occurrence. But what happens is, as a result, it's either an epiphany or an event, but your relationship with money changes. But the good thing is, any false foundation, like, say, you've always thought, hey, I should save, and you've been putting your little pennies away, and someone talks to you about, oh no, investing is the thing, or real estate or whatever, and you're like, you know what, that is what I want to do, and you do it and it turns out to be good. Or you haven't been saving any, or you haven't been putting any in your job's 401k, and your job even matches you, and you haven't, because you thought, well, I need all this money now, I can't put money away, I need this money. And then you have an epiphany, or someone talks to you or says something, and you're like, you know what, I can't afford it, I can't afford not to do it, and you start putting money in savings, and you start putting money in your 401k. Now, none of this is advice, I'm just rambling on here, but you have some type of major event or epiphany around money, career, finance, where things change for you and you go a new direction. And I meant to say this, and I digressed. The good thing is, whatever it was that you were doing was false for you. It wasn't your belief. You were doing something because that's how you were taught to do it, or that's how you were told that you should do it. Hell, it could even be you were, because this is money, career, and finance, you could have even been doing a job for the last 10 years that you hated because your parents said that's what you should do, or you thought that's what you should do. And then you had an epiphany like, I hate this. This is soul sucking. I'm going to do something else. And you may, maybe the move is to go to a school or to take another job somewhere and start fresh. I don't know, but some kind of major realization around money, career, finance. You're looking at things differently and you're going a new way, and it's really a good thing. And you're being encouraged to follow your heart, follow your gut, and be bold and make some moves. Okay. Around love. Either an existing relationship that has either fizzled out or there was a breakup. Either there is going to be some type of reconciliation talk or reconciliation, or there may be some type of new opportunity, or kind of, maybe you did have like a breakup, and maybe that was some of the loss that you experienced up here. Maybe you're giving loyalty to someone who didn't deserve it, and now you've met someone new, and so you have kind of a reawakening of, okay, I'm going to try this relationship thing again. So I see trying something again, or reconciliation. And so whether that's getting back with an old person and trying again, or just you trying love again, I hear trying again. So I'm not sure what that is. It could be a fire sign. So if you have been separated from a fire sign, you get back with a fire sign, that would be a clue. Or you could meet a fire sign, or someone who is like forceful, charismatic, and someone who is very attracted to you. Like you'll feel a lot of chemistry. And if that's your old person, then, that could be a clue that, that no matter what happened, the chemistry was always there for you guys. Or if you meet a new person and you feel instant attraction and chemistry, then that would be a clue that maybe you've met your person. But I do see kind of a new start, or like a, not reconciliation, but I already said it, you know what I mean? Either getting back with someone, or opening yourself back up to love. And then as far as, I do see a fellowship here. I see you, I want to say joining some kind of group, or it could be like a church. You could join a church family. You could find a group that has like-minded ideas as yours. It could be in the spiritual realm. It could be, heck, you could decide, I'm going to volunteer. You go online and you find an organization and you start volunteering and helping that way. But whatever it is, whether it's a church, some type of spiritual organization, or volunteering, or whatever it is, I see you finding great fellowship in this, and I see it being a wonderful spiritual outlet. And I feel I see it being very good for your soul, as well as helping you to reach out and be, good and helpful to others. So I just see it being a real opening up of you wanting to have fellowship with, with your fellow man, but also it being a good thing, and helping you. It's making you want to reach out and help. So I'm not sure what that is, but I do think you'll have the opportunity to gather with like-minded individuals in some type of spiritual or humanitarian endeavor, spiritual, religious, humanitarian endeavor in the next 30 days. Interesting. And I believe that the endeavor also will, it'll have to do with, that's why I think it's like a religious or spiritual, because it's about, I don't know, like humanitarian, but also I see the truth being a big thing. Whatever your truth is, I see you searching for truth, searching for the meaning. And a lot of people turn to religion and to spiritual endeavors for that. And even with volunteer, there's a meaning there. There's a giving back. So I see you really searching for your truth, your purpose, your meaning, and coming across an opportunity to join a group of like-minded individuals. And so that's what I have for you this time. Group number 2. I hope this was helpful, gave you some insight, and wish you the best in the next 30 days. Thank you so much for joining me. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye. Hi, group number 3. This is Cindy with Tana Tarot, and you are group number 3 in the Pick a Card reading, What You Need to Hear Right Now. This reading is intended to be for the next 30 days. And is appropriate for whenever you come across it. So let us begin. I was just saying in my last reading that a lot of the groups have a tendency to have cards that are in common. The last reading was all just a bunch of different stuff, but it was kind of still a really cool reading the way it came together. I will say that this reading has like 2 major themes, like 3 or 4 of the cards are all about one theme. So I can see that that is a really strong message in here for you. And I hate to sound preachy. I know I'm always talking about setting boundaries and self-love and all that in my love readings, my romance readings, but that is one of the main messages that we're getting here. And so this is what Spirit wants you to focus on in the next 30 days, or what you already are, and Spirit is acknowledging it. And if that is so, then this reading is for you. So the main thing for the next 30 days is self-love, self-esteem, working on it. It's about cutting out that which does not serve you. It's about boundary setting, prioritizing your life, your needs, and clarification on what it is that you want. And so we have like 1, 2, 3, 4 cards about looking into yourself and seeing what it is that is important to you. What are your boundaries? What do you want? How do you want it? And this is in it's in all of your relationships. It's your work relationships, with your coworkers, with the boss, your agreement with the company. It's romantic. It is with friends. How do you want a friendship to be? What are you willing to give? What do you feel that you should, receive in return? What's acceptable, what's not acceptable? Even with family, what do you want the family relationship to look like? All of this, you can't force people to act a certain way. And especially in romantic relationships, I think people get caught up in that. Well, if I back off and leave them alone, they'll miss me, and then they'll do this and that, like it's some kind of big, manipulation or some big chess game. There was this book, I think it was 10 years ago or more, something called The Rules. And you had to follow these rules in order for a man to respect you and for you to catch a man and get him to enter into marriage with you. And at that point, I was so lost, I was even reading the rules because I didn't know what was going on. But that's before I knew that I was lovable. I knew that I was worthy of having a good relationship. That was before I knew that I was loved. And that was before I learned to love myself. And once I did that, I was able to determine what my boundaries are. Is it okay for a person to do this? Yes? Okay, there's a boundary. Is it not okay for a person to do that? Okay, there's a boundary. And then all you can do is let your boundaries be known. And then if the people respect those boundaries, if they want to, if they're able to, then good. And if not, there's your answer. You don't need to spend 10 years trying to find out a person's motivation and why they're treating you this way and why they won't give you what you want. Hello, there's your answer. They're not giving you what you want. There's your answer. But once, that's so nebulous though, and we're also lost sometimes. So once you create those boundaries, mindfully, front of mind, mindfully, and you know what those boundaries are, and you feel comfortable with them and you feel good about them, and this is, you know, this is what I need in order to feel good about myself, respected, loved. And then you say, well, hello, my name is Cindy and these are my 5 major boundaries. And then if this person respects those and can and wants to respect those, then great, let's move forward and see what can happen. And if they don't, then okay. You don't take it personally. There's nothing wrong with you. Not necessarily even anything wrong with them. Maybe they just had a different agenda. So this reading is really encouraging you to look into that. Look into self-love. Look into self-respect. Look into self-esteem. And to do that, you need to question, what do I want? What am I worth? You determine that. You don't let someone else determine that. You become the star of your own movie. You're not a bit player or a co-star in someone else's movie. You are the star of your own movie. Become the star. You are the star. Recognize that you're the star. And so, yeah, we have quite a few cards about that. Now, we also have a few cards about cutting out that which does not serve you. Now, that can be a relationship. Maybe during this process you see, oh, okay, yeah, I've been hanging on to this romantic relationship or this friendship for a long time, thinking something was wrong with me, or thinking that if I did A, B, and C, this person would finally give me what I need. But now I realize they're unable to or didn't want to. And I realize that I'm worth being given that, and it's okay for me to ask for that. And so there will be some cutting out in the next 30 days. And that can be in relationships due to this work that you've done. Okay, so you may have to cut out a friend. You may have to cut out a romantic relationship. There may be someone in your family that you may need to kind of back off from and spend way less time with, or maybe even just take a break from due to this work that you're doing. It's really hard with family to determine the best way to handle that situation. So I will leave that one up to you. But there'll be a lot of, cleaning it up and cutting it out. Now, that's not just with relationships, though. That can also be with your house. When you walk through your house, do you feel, is there like too much clutter? Do you feel like overburdened? I'm clean, but I can be messy. Like there's right now a bunch of stuff on my dining room table. And every time I walk by, I'm like, oh God, I got to put that stuff away. It's like a energy drainer, okay? And when I go and I take 10 minutes and I put the stuff away, and then I walk by and I've got my little flower thing and maybe I light a little candle, It makes me feel so much better, like I respect my house and I appreciate my house. And so there may be other types of cleaning up that you need to do. Look in your closet. Do you have a bunch of stuff in there that you've had since middle school, or a bunch of stuff with tags because you just went shopping because you were bored or because it made you feel better? Have you made a pledge to stop doing that and, doing maybe better things with that money, saving, investing, whatever, and you feel guilty every time you walk by? Go ahead, pull everything out, do a Marie Kondo on it, give stuff away, sell it to a consignment shop, do whatever you need to do to clean it up, cut down on the clutter or whatever is not serving you, and move forward. You're being encouraged to do things now. Like I'm getting a couple of messages that there's been thoughts, ideas, plans, things that you've been thinking about for quite a while. Maybe you have the list. I have like the big list, the dump list, where I just put everything, almost, except for groceries, stuff that, is shouldn't go on a dump list. But I have a great big huge dump list. I just put everything from fix the thing on the fence to buy a new whoosie what's it for the whoosie flop, anything that I need to fix, anything that I need to buy to fix something, anything that I want to create, anything that, new ideas, for additional streams of income, or even hobbies, things I want to do, or things I want to research, look up, the XYZ. I wanted to figure out what that was all about or how that worked. I'll put it all on the dump list. And as I go through life, a lot of those things get done. But I do notice that the big things, the things that we give to ourselves as gifts, like trips, mainly for me it's travel. I don't know what it is for you, but I notice the big things that time and money and effort have to be put into that are just for me, oftentimes will go on the back burner while I deal with this thing we call life. And so we are being encouraged to, with this, self-respect and self-esteem thing, to, pull a couple of those things that we want to do for ourselves up off the list, and you're up, to the top of the list or off the list into the day timer, and actually start doing those things, start saving for those things, or start scheduling those things, or start not just just the spark in your mind, but the actual take the big thing and break it down into manageable steps and start doing it now. So we are being encouraged for those big things that we want to do for ourselves. Again, whether it's a vacation, whether it's starting a new business, whatever it is. Maybe you've just lost a bunch of weight and you promised yourself when you lost that 50 pounds or whatever that you were going to do a whole new wardrobe, and you feel like guilty, or you're like, oh man, I should really be saving for this or doing for that. Well, maybe you can figure out a way. Maybe you can do it in phases. Maybe don't throw away all your clothes and have nothing to wear until you start new. But maybe you can be like, okay, I'm going to work on leisure wear first, and I'm going to buy these 4 things. You get those 4 things, you give away or throw away all your old ratty leisure wear, because what have we all been wearing for the last 2 years during quarantine? Leisure wear. Start out with that. And then, okay, I haven't been into the office in 2 years, and it doesn't look like I'm going to be spending a lot of time there. Okay, casual wear, like jeans. And, what do I want to wear with jeans? I want to up my game a little bit. Tired of wearing, sweats and t-shirts, so jeans. Cute shoes. Do I want to wear tennis shoes? All that kind of stuff. Do it in phases. You can be good to yourself. And we all have a tendency, I think, sometimes to look at something as a whole, like, black and white or as a whole. But when you take it and you break it down into doable steps, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do it slowly or in phases. And once you break it down, it doesn't seem so intimidating. I also will let you know, we're getting the message. I need for you to look up your North Node. So you can go to Cafe Astrology. Perhaps you've already looked it. Perhaps you've already had your chart done. If you have, look it up. I will. Can you see? It looks almost like the Leo symbol. Oh, it's so crappy. Right here, that's the North Node symbol. If you have it, if you have your chart done. If you did it on Cafe Astrology, it may be typed out and it may just say North Node. It looks kind of like a double Leo. Like if this didn't have the little loop on it, that's kind of what Leo looks like. But look up your North Node, because this is what you are destined to have. And I'll tell you, I found out years ago that my North Node was in Scorpio. And I am a Sagittarius Sun, Gemini Rising, Cancer Moon. And if I had to be water, I love that it's Cancer, because that's all about home and hearth, and nothing against water signs at all. I'm just really more in tune with my fire and my air side. So when I found out that my North Node was Scorpio, I was like, what? Scorpio was just always so deep and dark and mysterious and maybe even bad to me, and I was like, oh, I just didn't relate at all. But your North Node is what you are destined to do, what you are destined to have. And if you would have told me 3 years ago that I would have started my own YouTube channel and that I'd be reading tarot, I would have laughed you out of the city. There's no way I would have thought I would be doing that. But looking back, having determined that my North Node was in Scorpio, now I can look back and see that tarot card reading is a very Scorpio thing to do. And that's like me and my little private joke with my North Node. But that is what I was destined to do. But I didn't find it out until like later in life. And so find out what your North Node is. Your South Node is what you were in a former life and what you kind of need to work on letting go or not being comfortable with. And your North Node is what you are destined to have or do or create in this lifetime. So look up what your North Node is and do some research on that. You are being encouraged to do that. Now, as far as money goes, in the next 30 days, I have an interesting message for you. It appears to me, and this could be confirmation that this reading's for you. Now, if this is not true, the rest of the reading can be for you. But it appears to me that you are either in some kind of training for some type of legal, military, law enforcement, first responder job. So whether you're going to law school, EMT school, whether you're thinking of joining the armed forces, I see you considering a profession in any of those fields that I just talked about, or signing up for training. If it's the armed forces, it would be like boot camp or whatever. And if it's an attorney, you'd be going to law school for like cops or EMTs or something. Of course, there's academy. But so that's what I see for you as far as career goes, like a training opportunity in one of those fields or some type of related field. Interesting. As far as love, I have a feeling the message that I'm getting here is with all this self-esteem, self-worth work that you've been doing, you are really starting to trust your own intuition, starting to trust yourself in, affairs of the heart, where before you may be like, oh God, I've never had a good relationship. It's always, shitty, or I picked the losers, or, whatever your old story was that you told yourself around relationships. I see that beginning to change, or I see you have an opportunity that happens and you realize that you have changed and that you're looking at things differently. I do see you getting a message from someone, whether it is someone you know, or maybe someone that knows who you are through friends, or maybe it's someone, that you've recently met, but whatever. I do see you getting a message of love. Now, I see it being a small message, and what I mean by that is I think it'll be like a text, or maybe someone will hit you up on Facebook or something, and it'll be like, hey, I'm a friend of so-and-so's, and I see you are too. I was wondering, would you like to go get a cup of coffee sometime, or go out to lunch sometime? So, or it just, maybe not even to ask you out. It may just be someone introducing themselves, and you're like, okay. But through this introduction, through this reaching out from this other person, you find yourself feeling a bit more confident, a bit more interested, and a bit more positive about the whole thing. And you really kind of like how they came to you and introduced themselves, and so that shows that they have interest, and that they were the first ones to reach out. And that also helps to build up your confidence a little bit. But you are really beginning to trust your instincts and your own gut more, yourself more, with doing the right thing in relationships and having a good, positive relationship with love, with self-love. I mean, you know what you're worth. And so when someone reaches out, it's not that big, scary of a thing. You're like, okay, this is who I am. You're almost looking at love like a job interview. This is who I am. This is what I have to offer. This is what I want. Let's see what happens. And so that is a good thing. And then I do see you, there's perseverance, and it's with personal and spiritual growth. I see a lot of work. I see a lot of perseverance, and I see you being close to something that you've been working towards or striving for. It can be something tangible. So perhaps for your personal growth, you always had a dream of making, like, when I make this purchase and I buy this, to me, that's a clue that, that's a sign to me that I've made it. Maybe it was like, I promised myself if I got this degree and if I had this job for 5 years that I would put aside money and I'd finally buy myself this sports car or something. And you know what? Doggone it, you went out and bought yourself that sports car, and good thing for you, and you're having fun, you're enjoying it, and you're having a great time. You deserve it. You worked hard for it. It's fun. You love it. Good for you. So whether it's something tangible like that, or whether it's something like maybe you're working towards some type of a degree or a certificate program to help you with your career. Whatever it is, I see that there's something that you've put a lot of time and energy and perseverance into, and it wasn't easy. I'd say it's something definitely that it's been going on for at least a year, if not more. I know it takes like 2 years for an associate's degree, 4 years for a bachelor's degree. Some certificates can be, gotten, very easily, not easily. They're all involve work, but way more quickly. So I don't know. I'm not sure what it is, but I do see a lot of work has gone into this, and you are almost ready to attain whatever it was that was your goal. And so congratulations to you. And you know what? Whatever it is, you are worth it if it's tangible. And if it's something like education or something like that, kudos, bravo, good for you. That is just another step towards realizing that you are worth investing in yourself, and it will just only make you more valuable to, yourself and the workforce and the life that you want to have as you move forward. So good stuff. I love it, group 3. So this is what I have for you for the next 30 days. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.